This year, we set out to revisit Newfoundland, a place that captured our hearts 2 years ago and left us vivid and unforgettable memories. If you haven't watched our first movie about Newfoundland, you can find the link for it in the description below. This trip was especially meaningful because it was our first long adventure in the van that we've built last year. Until now, we hadn't had a chance to truly test it on a long trip. Traveling in comfort without worrying about weather or shelter allowed us to experience Newfoundland in a whole new way. This time the island revealed fresh faces of its landscape, and we discovered places we had missed in our previous visit. We chose not to take the short route to North Sydney, where the ferry departs for Channel Port Tadoussac. Instead, we set our sights on a more adventurous path, driving through Quebec, exploring Labrador, and only then crossing the Gulf of St. Lawrence between the mainland and the island, from the remote place of Blanc Sablon. Ahead of us were many ferry crossings. On our first ferry, we crossed the Saguenay River from Sainte-Catherine Bay to Tadoussac, Quebec. It's Rossi. Made it to the first ferry. We're about to close the gates. We managed to catch the last evening departure, and by the next morning, our adventure was truly underway. The road carried us past small picturesque towns and through parks where other travelers were already camping, overlooking shimmering waters and rugged, rocky shores. We couldn't resist stopping for a moment to rest and admire the view. The landscapes were breathtaking. One can only imagine how magical the sunrises and the sunset must be in this place, but the road was calling, and we had to move on. As we drove along, Maria's eyes caught a narrow river sparkling through the trees, so we stopped for a bit of fishing. Against the blazing sun, the water shimmered invitingly, cool and full of promise, as though the fish must surely be waiting beneath the surface. It's a beautiful spot here that hopefully will allow us to fish a little. We'll see. Maria set up her fishing rod, but the first cast brought nothing, nor did the second, and nor the 10th. We didn't mind. We always have a backup plan. After simple lunch by the river, we packed up and continued to move, turning onto Quebec Route 389. The route eventually brought us to the vast Manicouagan Reservoir, which is blocked by Daniel Johnson Dam, also known as Manic 5. There's Maria making some pasta for us. Meanwhile, we are locked inside the van, and there's a lot of little flies that are here. We are not even to Labrador yet, but the view outside is incredible. We're next to this gorgeous lake, which is perfectly round, like a circle, and it's not obviously man-made. For us, cooking and eating are among the most delightful aspects of any trip. Today, we enjoyed an improvised Italian-inspired lunch, a cuisine we adore. It's really good. Here's everything put together. There's some pasta, some fish, some shrimp, some cheese. The reason we cannot cook a normal meal like lobster is because all of those little flies that are right on the door, they're eating us alive. And we are not super happy about it. So we're gonna stay inside the van probably until a little later. I think the temperature should drop to about 50, so hopefully by that time they will disappear. Maria enjoying her lunch. Eating outside would be ideal, but unfortunately in Labrador, it's a luxury almost impossible to enjoy this time of year. 7 years ago, we drove the same road and completely forgot about the terrifying numerous midgets that literally ate us alive. Still, we wanted to exit the van. I cautiously donned mosquito net, while Maria bravely opted to face the nature, hoping the fire would deter the relentless bugs. It was really tough to dig a hole and gather firewood in those conditions, so we had to move fast. Even though the fire was going strong, it didn't bother all those midges who kept buzzing and biting like crazy. Later, a fishing boat pulled up, and the fishermen also griped about the unusual number of flies. But used to tough conditions, they were not super worried. Yeah, this is probably the best thing. It's called original bug shirt. And the mesh is so fine. So like the wind comes through, so I'm not hot in this. In fact, probably getting a little cold now. And the bugs just stay away, so it kind of cinches here at the bottom and at the sleeves. So they bite my hand. Despite the flies, we totally loved our visit here. The views were amazing and the location was super unique. You know, the Manicouagan Reservoir, or the Eye of Quebec as they call it, was actually created 214 million years ago by a huge meteorite hitting Earth. The next day, finding drinking water was our main priority. This was a real struggle. Our supply was running out fast and there weren't many places to refill. We used at least water sources, but it often gives bad info, sending us to dried up springs. But this time, we got lucky. We managed to refill our 30 gallons of water with fresh spring water and continued driving to Labrador without a hitch. Finally arrived at the border of Labrador, and we're going inside. We're gonna cross it and get to Newfoundland. Labrador has some seriously beautiful views. Our trip showed us those rocky rivers with strong currents and on other side, super thick green forests that practically block the road. Some sites are really gorgeous, while others are more industrial with sandy areas, work sites, and a lot of railway tracks. We found a cozy spot and stopped for lunch. It seemed like the midges weren't averse to having us for lunch either. We got this lobster in the local store and all this seafood. There was supposed to be a restaurant, but the restaurant the weekend opens only at 4 p.m. And right now it's 11:43. We really wanted to have this for lunch. So we'll have it for lunch. After lunch, we looked at our planned route and decided to stay overnight in this picturesque place and head to Mary's Harbour the next morning. The next day's rainy weather was a nice change. When you're driving, the sun can really drain you, quickly tiring out your eyes with its harsh glare. Mary's Harbour is a charming little coastal town, home to around 300 folks, right on St. Mary's River. It's got a cool history, especially when it comes to salmon fishing, which goes way back to 1780s. Plus, its natural beauty totally explains why some people just want to escape the big city grind and settle here. Labrador is a fisher's dream, with tons of rivers and lakes. Before we cast a line, we always check local regulations. Some rivers here actually require a guide for fishing. And if you're hitting up a lake or a river more than 800 meters from the road, you definitely need a guide.
Today I will try to catch fish again, and I decided to put on the bug net because the flies are unbearable, and I was hard bitten 2 days ago. Oh, look at my face. So, how pretty am I? But who cares?
Maria decided to try her luck again, but it was definitely not on her side that day.
It's very funny, but my trout was stolen, some animal or bird, I don't know. I caught trout, put it on the stone. I didn't find my trout on the place. But lesson learned. I would never leave my food, my prey, without supervision anymore. But we're gonna eat something from our fridge today.
Even better, we made hot dogs with potatoes, tomato salad, and leftover buckwheat with ribs. Seriously, our favorite. We were not in a rush on this trip, and the rainy weather actually helped by keeping the annoying flies away. That meant we could chill out wherever we felt like. Our next stop for a few days was Red Bay. Red Bay, with its awesome red cliffs, is natural harbor. Back in the early 17th century, it was called the Whale Bay and was a huge hub for Basque whaling. We're talking about 15 whale ships and 600 guys from southern France and northern Spain making their journey each season to this isolated spot on the Strait of Belle Isle to hunt for right and bowhead whales. Fast forward to today, the Red Bay is peaceful, charming, and a small community, happy to welcome tourists all year round, offering some truly incredible views. Just a 50-minute drive away, we found ourselves at the memorable Point Amour Lighthouse, or Point of Love, which we had previously climbed 7 years ago. However, on this visit it was very early in the morning and the lighthouse was closed. The name Amour, love, is a romanticized transformation of the original name Anse aux Morts, which translates as Cove of the Dead, due to the numerous shipwrecks in the area. The establishment of the lighthouse on Point Amour in 1857 reduced the frequency of crashes. It is the second tallest lighthouse in Canada. The entire station is now a provincial historic site, and visitors can tour the original dwelling, which serve as an interpretation center, and climb the 128 steps to the top of the tower. After leaving Labrador, we headed to Blanc Sablon to catch a ferry to Newfoundland. We totally messed up and didn't buy tickets online, but somehow we lucked out and still got a spot. I ran into the office and there was still one ticket left to San Barbe.
Did we get a ticket?
We got something. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Rogados. Stand by there you are.
Okay. 2 years ago, our trip to Newfoundland was less crowded, and getting round-trip tickets was a breeze. This year, though, things are totally different. Campers, tour buses, motorcyclists and cyclists are flocking to this beautiful island. We were able to catch a ferry as a standby, luckily in the last minute, and it's a 10:30 a.m. ferry. The first available reservation that we had was on Monday next week, and it's only Tuesday, so we're very fortunate. The ferry ride was about 2 hours. In the cafeteria, we met Charlie and had an interesting conversation. What's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie. And Charlie, you live in Newfoundland, right?
Yes.
And what is the right way to pronounce Newfoundland? What do the locals call it?
Newfoundland.
Not Newfoundland.
No.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. The time on the ferry flew by before we knew it. Then we headed into town to find a laundromat, always a must when you're traveling, as clean clothes vanish way too fast. There was no public laundromat, and some friendly locals pointed us to a spot where we could do our washing. We found a place with laundromat right in the Port Authority. It's very unlikely because the nearest laundromat from us is about 4 hours away. But somehow, don't ask how, found the laundromat where we wanted. While the laundry was being washed, we stopped for a snack and some tea. As you can see, we weren't the only one who decided to sample the local cuisine. It's hard to resist food in Newfoundland because it is truly delicious. So, we're in Newfoundland. We've returned to this place again. We've been here 2 years ago, and what I'm holding in my hand is something very special. It's called a partridge berry jam, which I think partridge berry grows in northern regions. It's so good. Oh my god. It's so unique, right? That you can't really get it anywhere else. But here it's so good. And so like usually it comes with cheesecake. So I asked for partridge berry cheesecake without the cheesecake, so it's just brought us the jam. So here we are, enjoying it. After laundry, we headed to the historical site. So here we are trying to drive to this visitor center. And this guy is kind of creating a traffic jam, you know? Like, sir, like trying to move here, would you mind? And he's like, way to turn, buddy. Or if you want to pass, you can do it. I ain't moving. Port aux Choix, on Newfoundland's northwest coast, totally lives up to its reputation for caribou sighting. We saw them chilling out and roaming the green landscapes, not just when we arrived at the historic site, but all throughout our visit. Just a heads up, from July to September, their fur might look a bit scruffy, because they're molting. Just a short walk from our campsite, we lucked out and saw a baby caribou. It was super curious and came right to us, so we got a great look. Caribou, a unique deer with seasonal hoof changes. In the winter, the hoof pads of the caribou will shrink, exposing the rim of the hoofs, which help them walk on over ice and snow. Lichens are a major winter food source because they contain carbs and are available when other vegetation is scarce. In the summer, they have nothing to worry about. Newfoundland is rich in fresh plants, leaves, buds, as well as mushrooms and berries. The next day we decided to take a walk. We followed the hiking trail that ran along the coast, pulling us deeper into the peninsula, as if by magic. This area's cool three-pronged peninsula used to be an island-heavy cape, but it got its shape from land uplifting after the glaciers melted. Here you will see a beautiful rocky coastline made of limestone. The rocks have their own inhabitants. Look how beautiful this great cormorant is. These birds are superb divers, using their webbed feet and powerful wings to propel themselves underwater. We launched a drone to get a better look at the area. Imagine our surprise when a herd of caribou appeared in the frame. Caribou herd sizes vary significantly, ranging from small groups of a few animals to massive migratory herds that can approach 500,000 heads. The further we walked, the greener and thicker the landscape became. Low-growing trees, shrubs, and even flowers begin to appear more often along the way. Porter shocks seemed to be dotted with caribou, and I did not miss the opportunity to film those graceful animals again. The province is home to 4 of 12 nationally significant caribou population in Canada. The island caribou population was 27,000 in 2021. Even if you don't see caribou right away, rest assured, they are here. You just have to wait. Porter Shocks is home to various plants like crowberry, and in sheltered areas, large trees such as black spruce and balsam fir can be found. The aromas of plants, mixed with salty wind from the ocean, fill the air with incredible freshness. We followed the trail to a fishing village, which was covered in a thick fog. I heard voices coming from one of the houses, so we stopped, hoping to purchase fresh seafood.
So there, you got a couple
You need a
boxes
bigger one that big.
for you. Throw them in your pack or something. I don't know if I got a. See if I got a shot. One of those little shot bags you can throw them in.
So we met a few people that live here in
Tadoussac.
in Newfoundland. And they gave us 2 lobsters, which is incredible, but we also decided to put this point to a resolution. Some people think that the right way to call the province in which we are is Newfoundland. We're going to discover what is the correct way.
It's Newfoundland, we call it.
Newfoundland. The people of Newfoundland are called Newfies.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they refer to themselves.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Goofy Newfies.
Goofy Newfies.
We thanked the fishermen and headed to the campsite, which was about 4 miles away. Those delicious lobsters have an interesting backstory. When we met the fishermen, we discovered that they had freshly caught lobsters, but we didn't have any cash. To our surprise, Vernon, one of the fishermen, pulled out a couple of lobsters out of a crate and handed them to us. We were absolutely thrilled, like kids in a candy store, and so grateful for the local hospitality. A few days later, we arrived in Rocky Harbour. The weather had finally cleared, and Maria decided not to put off fishing anymore. Mackerel is the primary catch during the summer month. Looks like we got lucky today. Here's Maria, creating our dinner from scratch. This is mackerels. We're gonna eat well tonight. A local guy showed us how to properly fillet a fish, and then we went to taste it.
Today I caught mackerel and I'm gonna salt part of it. I need just a salt. For this amount of fish, we need just 1 tablespoon of salt, like this. In 2 hours, it will be ready.
Some of the fish was salted, while the remainder sizzled in the pan. Simple seasoning, salt, pepper, a touch of lemon, it's all that is needed to make freshly caught fish delicious. The fish was great. We're thankful to the ocean for this gift and the opportunity to enjoy it and satisfy our hunger. Evening descended on Rocky Harbour almost unnoticed. I couldn't resist the opportunity to photograph the peaceful slumbering town. Rocky Harbour is the largest community in Gros National Park. Its history has long been tied to fishing and timber industries, but over time it has grown into a thriving tourist destination. From a bird's eye view, bathed in rays of setting sun, it looked mesmerizing. Gros National Park, located on Newfoundland's west coast near Rocky Harbour, is a truly stunning place. It's part of long-range mountains and is famous for incredible geological features and breathtaking scenery, all thanks to ancient continental collisions and glaciers. You will find a wide range of environments here, from thick boreal forests to stark rocky cliffs. The Green Garden Trail in the park is seriously cool, taking you on an amazing trip through all sorts of scenery. You kick things off on open, rocky tablelands, then hike down through some woods until you hit the volcanic coast. From a steep slope of a rocky shore, a wooden staircase allowed us to go down. Despite the warm summer, the ocean water is always cold. Only the brave person would dare to swim in it. So we had to limit ourselves to a stroll along the shore. After settling comfortably on the shore, we observed a flock of sheep. Initially, we believed them to be wild, but it became apparent that Green Gardens has historically served as summer pasture for the living stock of Trout River residents, and sheep continue to graze there even now. The sheep were completely unafraid of us, wandering calmly along the shore with their offsprings, who frolicked carefree in the warm summer sun. An expression of emotion that seems inherent to every creature on earth, and this spectacle touched our hearts deeply. This is love, and there is no other way to describe it. By evening, we had returned to the campsite. Maria decided to catch more fish. Here is Maria's course again. We'll catch a couple of fish today, fillet them, and then we will put them in the freezer. For the road back through Labrador, we'll have something to eat. She was reeling mackerel almost every cast. We salted the fish again, this time adding onions and a touch of vegetable oil. Then we set it aside to marinate for next day's lunch. That day we had lobster, which has become a frequent item on our table. Time for dinner. And we made some lobster. Like dinner with a movie and a view. To avoid tourist crowds and get a parking spot, we made an early start the following day for our visit in Tablelands. The trail greeted us with morning coolness, fog, and serenity. Tablelands offers a variety of hiking experiences. The most popular option is a 2.5-mile, easy trail perfect for all skill levels. A long time ago, Tablelands was an ocean's bottom. And after tectonic plates collided, it became a massive brick-colored mountains. The ground is composed of predotite, a type of rock that is rich in magnesium and low in calcium. This gives the landscape its unique red and orange coloration. Despite the barren rocky landscape, some plants thrive as vibrant green spots in the stone desert. The cold rivers flowing from the highlands surrounding Tablelands are vital to the region's ecosystem. There is something mystical, alluring, inexplicable and unique about this place, with its own special energy. The Tablelands touch every visitor's soul, leaving behind memory that lingers long after the journey ends. While we wished we could stay longer, we needed to move on. Our immediate goal was to find a place where we could camp for the night. We ended up settling into a beautiful spot overlooking a lake, enjoying a simple dinner and watched the sunset through the window. That view alone likely surpassed any restaurant experience. We hadn't planned on visiting the islands, but a casual conversation with some travelers changed our minds, and we bought tickets for the ferry from Fairewell to Fogo Island. The ferry runs between two islands, Change Island and Fogo, and the journey takes less than an hour. During this time, it's possible to stroll along the deck or simply admire the view from the window, lost in thoughts about eternity. Fogo Island is home to approximately 3,000 permanent residents, and it is accessible year-round by ferry. This place is known for its vibrant community spirit and its unique landscape of 400-million-year-old rock. The island is a gentle world of bright-colored clipboard houses, sea-cliff footpaths, lush forests, and warm hospitality set against a striking coastline. Fogo Island has over 124 miles of paths and trails. We certainly weren't going to visit every single one, but we started by exploring the area and initially opted out for Brimstone Head Trail, which is a mere 1.2 miles long. The trail begins with a wooden platform that transitions into a rocky path, and then wooden stairs which ascend to the observation area at the summit. As the sun set, its rays pierced through the clouds, casting a sleepy, farewell glow over the island until morning. Along the shorelines, the lights of the small houses lit up, infusing the scene with sense of warmth and coziness. The following day was dedicated to exploring the island, not only for the stunning coastal views, but also to find a perfect spot to capture the sunset. Amidst our admiration of the surroundings, lunchtime arrived, and we decided to dine in the first restaurant we saw. Little did we know what delightful surprise awaited us there. The restaurant literally amazed us with its presentation and the quality of the food. Lobster cocktails, seafood chowder, fresh butter, and of course the king of the table, lobster.
So we are in Fogo Island, and we've stumbled upon this beautiful, awesome restaurant. and so far we had 2 servings before the lobster of seafood. It is incredible.
The food was so delicious, we raved about it for a long time. By evening, we returned to our chosen spot to finish the day with the setting sun and see it off beyond the horizon. Our plan was to dedicate a maximum of 3 days to exploring the island, including a hike along Lion's Den Trail to further learn about the area. This coastal loop hike is about 4 miles long. This is a really beautiful, well-maintained trail that takes you to spectacular views of the ocean along abandoned fishing villages. This trail commemorates the lives of resettled communities that were once central to its island's codfish history and disappeared by the middle of 20th century. The story of the settlements is told on the information boards scattered along the pass. There are small side trails leading to observation points from which icebergs can be seen drifting past during the season. In the evening, as usual, we return to the town to watch the sunset, a sight you never tire of. It's breathtaking and serene. It seems that sunset takes away the day just lived, only to return the next morning, refreshed and full of new emotions. We always want to capture every moment, every minute passing by, because after all, there will be other bright days ahead, many beautiful sunsets and sunrises, but this one is unique. It will never repeat. Being here and now, that's what it means to truly live. Inspired by an iceberg sighting in Fogo Island, we made our way to Twillingate, renowned globally as the iceberg capital of the world. In season, countless icebergs gracefully drift past the town, resembling majestic white swans. This morning we arrived at Twillingate in Newfoundland, hoping to see icebergs. And 2 years ago we were here exactly at the same time, and we've seen tens of icebergs, but now there is none. The local residents also noted that there were almost no icebergs this year. The last one passed through in the middle of June. Though Twillingate didn't offer the icebergs we hoped for, we still enjoyed the views of the pleasant town. The story of this place began as a French fishing outpost, Twillingate, around the late 17th century, before becoming England's most northern settlement in 1730. It grew into one of Newfoundland's largest ports, specializing in cod and seal fisheries throughout the 19th century. The town has officially incorporated in 1962 and has since transitioned from a fishing-dependent economy into a tourism-based one. Without delay, we made our way to the Bonavista region to observe the puffins. The primary location for the large colonies of those birds is the cliffs near Elliston. However, we had the fortune of speaking with some locals who revealed an alternative viewing spot, requesting that we keep it undisclosed. We parked on the green cliffs, where the ocean views were truly breathtaking. Puffins' burrows are scattered along the coastline. They spend the day basking in the sun and fishing. Puffins are seabirds nicknamed the clown of the sea for their bright beaks, which change colors seasonally. They are excellent flyers and divers. They flap their wings up to 400 times per minute to catch fish. Puffins are carnivores that mainly eat small fish, such as capelin, sandlands, and herring. These birds are expert underwater hunters, using their wings as powerful propulsion to dive for prey. They can dive to depth of up to 200 feet. There is a coastal trail that winds along the shore, and we went out to explore it, taking in the views of blue sky, clear bright green water, and endless ocean, and the silent cliffs. Before it, a person seems no more than a barely noticeable grain of sand. By the evening, the air had cooled. A gusty ocean wind pierced right through. The sleepy birds had fallen silent, settling in their burrows, while the last rays of sun gently licked the rocks. We were tired too, and decided to turn in so we could have an early start for Elliston and visit the puffin colony before the crowds arrived. Puffins live and breed in large noisy colonies and demonstrate complex social skills. They have a variety of social behaviors, including intricate courtship rituals where pairs rub their beaks together. Puffins typically mate for life. What's interesting is that they spend a lot of the time in the open ocean, but always return to the same burrows and the same mates for up to 40 years. Our journey was taking us to Trinity, a small town south of Bonavista. Wandering through the town, we found a theater with a diverse performance program and an old St. Paul Anglican church. This St. Paul's Anglican Church, a Gothic Revival timber frame building, is the third church on the site, built between 1892 and 1894 after the previous structure had collapsed. The interior boasts warm wooden style, complemented by vibrant frescoes on the windows that enhances its cozy atmosphere. Suddenly, we came across a whale watching tour and decided not to miss the chance to see the whales up close this time.
We're going we will see some whales. We will see some puffins. And one whale that jumps out of the water. Or at least a check.
All the adventurers were given special suits designed to keep them afloat until rescue arrived. But the captain assured us that everything would be fine. Boarding commenced shortly thereafter. Everyone was eager and excited to see those strange and enormous mammals. We volunteered to sit in the front row, which allowed us to have the best possible spot to take a photo. The speedboat cut through the water effortlessly, making the adventure even more thrilling. Soon, the first humpback whale appeared on the horizon. Its dorsal fin poked out, appearing to drift lazily across the surface. We had hoped to witness the whales leaping from the ocean, a truly spectacular sight. However, the captain informed us that such an event is unpredictable. Nevertheless, we were happy to see the whales as they were. There were fewer whales here than in Twillingate. This is because during the season, these marine giants follow capelin schools, which make them roam through the ocean. In search of whales, we skirted the rocky coastline, admiring the views. As the boat sped, we appreciated the benefits of the survival suits, which protected us from the piercing winds. Time had passed quickly, and upon return, a cozy and welcoming Trinity greeted us again with its banks. Leaving Trinity behind, our journey continued past parks and coastal settlements. La Manche Provincial Park boasts a scenic suspension bridge, tucked away in a beautiful forest with a view of a stunning bay. An original suspension bridge once connected the community of La Manche, which was located on both sides of the harbour. The bridge was rebuilt after the original was destroyed by a severe winter storm in 1966. The bridge is a major attraction, allowing hikers to explore the old community's remnants. The forest path to the bridge is an easy hike, suitable for all skill levels. Information about the trails is posted on a billboard. Once you start walking on a bridge, a small waterfall can be seen. We decided to hike the Flambert Trail. The full route wasn't part of the plan, as the day was going to be very hot and the sun was already blazing mercilessly since the early morning. Our goal was to explore the area and maybe find some nice places for the video. This wasn't the easiest of trails. In some places, we had to cross small streams, climb over rocks, and make our way through thickets of bushes. Despite this, the trail was well maintained and passable. At last, the path opened into a great overlook, revealing the ocean surface and the rugged coastline. From a bird's eye view, the scenery was breathtaking. It seemed as if the coastline was wrapped in a wall of impenetrable forest. After finding a sunny warm rock, we sat down to rest and have a snack before heading back. Newfoundland's rivers weave through dense greenery, forming lifelines that carry vitality to every corner of the land. Following their course, as if carried by current, our journey led to Cape Race. There, on a rocky ledge stands a lighthouse. It became famous after its radio station transmitted the Titanic's SOS call on April 14, 1912. All the beauty of this place cannot be seen from the road, but after launching a drone and viewing the footage after, we held our breath in awe. Against the backdrop of the lakes and streams, an inaccessible, small wooden church seemed like a mysterious echo of the past our ancestors left behind. When we visited Newfoundland in 2023, we didn't get to visit St. Vincent Cove. This is the place where capelins are washed ashore. The cove is also called the whales' playground because the whales often come into the bay. So this time we decided to spend a few days here. Foggy and rainy weather made spotting sea giants impossible. Lifeless capelins that washed ashore 4 days ago littered the beach. Some fish were around because northern gannets were at work. They are famous for their spectacular hunting technique, where they plunge headfirst into the ocean from heights of up to 130 feet and hit the water at speeds of up to 62 miles per hour. While waiting for the whales and the capelins, we enjoyed our time on the shore, listening to the ocean whispers with its restless waves. We really enjoyed Gros Morne and decided to spend the remaining time there. The Lookout Hills Trail caught our attention. It features stunning landscape views from above. Starting at the Discovery Center parking lot, it's a 3-mile round-trip hike with an elevation gain of about 1,000 feet. On the way to the top, there are sections with wooden boardwalks that make the climb much easier. In some places, the trail winds through the forest with patches of wild strawberries, which we enjoyed picking along the way. Newfoundland is a heaven for berry enthusiasts, with abundance of berries growing everywhere in season. The higher we climbed, the more beautiful the views became. From this vantage point, Tablelands look like a huge red volcano towering above the ground. Newfoundlanders are very hospitable. This is reflected in the small things. Upon reaching the summit, we discovered a comfortable chair. We enjoyed sitting in it, overlooking the beautiful panorama. So, Maria, how cool is it to be at the top of the world?
Pretty cool.
When leaving the Gros Morne region, as if to say goodbye, it gave us one more surprise. Along the way, we encountered a small, confused moose calf looking around. It hesitated for a bit until finally jumping over the fence. Throughout our trip, we had hoped to see a fox. On the island, it's one of the main species. But until that point, luck wasn't on our side. Suddenly, after making a turn, a red, fluffy tail loomed right on the side of the road, as if guiding us to Boutte du Cap. Boutte du Cap greeted us with pastries. It's a tradition here to treat visitors to fresh bread. The rolls were delicious.
That's butter, that's 3 berry, that's strawberry barb.
A little later, we headed towards the cliffs in hopes of spotting seals. Sometimes they come out onto the coastal rocks to rest. Unfortunately, there were no seals around. However, a small group of common murres were enjoying the rays of the warm setting sun. Nearby, travelers had comfortably parked their campers. The park has several designated campsites, but it's possible to set up a camper or a tent almost anywhere. The views from here were incredible. The sound of the waves and the wind make the ocean seem endless and peaceful. The following day, our exploration continued, as we ventured further into the peninsula, making our way to La Marche des Mythes. This 4.6 miles hike out and back offers truly unforgettable sights of cliffs, whales, and seabirds. The trail begins at Boutte du Cap and gradually ascends, winding like a snake between the hills and a forest. Cloudberries were abundant in the forest. This is one of Newfoundland's most popular berries. From this gift of nature, locals make jam, wine, and baked goods. The further we went, the more hopeful we became that we'd be lucky and spot wildlife. But this time we saw only the colonies of coastal birds. They circled like white butterflies on a backdrop of blue ocean, a scene that could be admired endlessly. Towards the end of the trail, the path became challenging, and we had to hike through dense spruce branches and fallen trees. Despite this, it was a pleasure to reach the end of the path and launch a drone to capture the inexplicable vastness of these places, virtually untouched by humans. Before leaving Boutte du Cap, we finally managed to spot some seals frolicking on the waves. Right from the bakery, there is a short trail that runs along the coastline. They didn't come too close, so we only got a good look at them later when we watched the footage. Another lighthouse came into view, standing along the way in a beautiful spot surrounded by wooden hills. It turned out to be the perfect place to spend the night and capture the lighthouse in a sunset light. We cannot name this place or show it on the map at the request of the hostess, who welcomed us so warmly. We dined on a delicious homemade vegetables and côte gratine, and then went out to admire the coastal views. We stayed in this amazing inn and got this incredible dinner of côte gratine. There's nobody else here. And outside, Newfoundland has many waterfalls. Every foothill and mountain holds a cascade or a spring. Here, amid the impressive power of the water, such a gentle message can be found. Like a bride's veil, the water rushes from the top, flowing along the cliffs before falling into the ocean. We wanted to see Barachois Falls again, which is located on Route 470 outside of the town Blanc. It's just a mile-long, easy hike along a wooden trail. During the previous visit, a drone wasn't a part of our gear. Now, every time when we look at the footage, it's hard to believe that behind a roar of the water, hidden are thousands of miles of green forest, hills, lakes, and small rivers, which give this waterfall its incredible power. Speaking of Blanc, there is an old lighthouse that stands on a rocky shore. In July 1828, the Irish immigrant ship Dispatch wrecked on the rocks of Isle of Morne, a small town on Newfoundland's southwest coast. Following the event, the residents petitioned the House of Assembly to build several lighthouses along that stretch of coast, including this one. There is an interesting rock formation, a stone in the shape of clasped hands, named Praying Hands Rock. The Blanc Lighthouse, which began operating in 1873, is one of the last remaining granite lighthouses on the island. The original one was decommissioned and replaced with automated signal in the 1940s. Not far from the lighthouse, there is a rest area with benches. Here, like a colorful snake, lies a pattern made of vibrant stones with inscriptions and drawings. Apparently, someone has already tried to snag one stone as a souvenir. Unfortunately, the time flew by, and Blanc was our last stop on the island. The next day, a ferry to mainland awaited us. It was a signal that our journey was coming to an end. So reluctantly, we had to say goodbye to the endless green expanses and the cozy coastal towns. We did not purchase ferry tickets in advance because our precise departure date from Newfoundland was unknown. Thus, an entire week was spent checking availability because everything was already booked. Finally, 2 tickets became available, and a ferry took us to the mainland. Our route home went through the famous Cabot Trail, a scenic 185-mile highway in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, named after explorer John Cabot. Its modern construction was complete in 1932 to boost tourism and showcase the region's Scottish heritage and natural beauty. On the way, we stopped at the visitor center, where a park ranger recommended visiting the White Point Trailhead. It's a beautiful coastal hike of 1.4 miles with spectacular views. The day was sunny and windy, but those conditions didn't stop us from taking beautiful photos. It's amazing how the cliffs jutting into the ocean create atmospheric views. As usual, I picked some berries. This time it was raspberries. From the bay, we could see the familiar common murres on coastal rocks. We climbed onto neighboring rocks to get a better look of the fur seals, who were peering curiously at us from the water. Seals are intelligent, warm-blooded marine mammals. They can hold their breath for up to 100 minutes and dive to depths of hundreds of feet, slowing their heart rate to conserve oxygen. Our stay was coming to an end, and the journey home awaited us after another ferry. We're gonna cross across this causeway, across this water, and we will be in Maine, United States. This was a month-long trip. Labrador, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Maine, and we're gonna be back home soon and start going to work again. So thank you for watching this video this far, and see you in the next journey. We were delighted to spend a whole month in this hospitable and amazing land, savoring each new day and enjoying the views of rocky coastlines carpeted with forests and greenery. Breathing the salty air of this magical place brought a sense of joy and freedom. We will definitely return here again. But for now, thank you for traveling with us.